I want to talk about the reality of this whole NoFap movement for a second. In the first stages after you relapse, so let's go back to day 1 and day 2 of NoFap, you will feel tired, lethargic, and lazy. Okay, you'll go through a period of procrastination maybe because your body has released your life force energy. Okay, and if you've been checking into my 30 Days of NoFap series, then thank you very much. The reason why I'm sharing my experience is because I relapsed recently after 376 successful days of NoFap. And I decided that this time around I was going to share my experience with anybody who might be able to relate to the things that I'm going through. Perhaps you're new to the movement and the concept of NoFap, and so I'm just putting out content to share with you people, with you guys, to help you on your NoFap journeys and on your endeavors of semen retention. So after I relapsed, the first thing I felt was the release of energy, the depletion of energy in my body, and it had an effect on my mind as well because my brain was just chasing the next dopamine rush. Okay, and this came in the form of food, right? I was craving really unhealthy food, really sugary foods that are high in fat. And so what I did on the first 2 days of my NoFap journey was made sure that I ate really healthy food because I needed to make sure that my body was being provided the nutrients that it needed to continue to be productive regardless of the relapse, right? And this is what happens as you begin to go through your NoFap journey and you go through the process of relapsing over and over again as you get better and better and better every time. This is why I always say to people on NoFap, first of all, take your time. And secondly, because it might take you longer than you think, right? NoFap is a lot more difficult than anyone ever makes it out to be. So what I noticed around day 3 and 4, maybe 5, is the energetic effect. So going from feeling really tired, lazy, and procrastinating to all of a sudden feeling motivated again, getting the drive and the ambition that I needed to go about my day-to-day life and be productive. And it felt amazing around day 3 and 4 because I felt this energetic effect in my body. It's almost like elevation, right? And so this is why you've got to stay strong right after you relapse, is because right around the corner, you're just going to elevate back to the same level that you were at before you relapsed. So you've got to stay motivated on this NoFap journey. Now, I'm on day 7, okay? And I'm beginning to experience a kind of flatline. Now, what do I mean by flatline? I'm starting to feel normal in terms of energy, right? I'm starting to feel like everything is balancing itself out in terms of my body and my mind and my brain. Now, why I call it a flatline is because I'm not feeling the same way that I did around day 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and this is because the rise in energy, the transition from going low to high, has kind of reached its peak, and I think I'm now at a constant. And this is why I'm calling it a flatline. And many of you might experience the same thing. Okay, now don't be fooled, because I know there's a lot of guys out there who might turn around on this flatline period and say to themselves, oh, well, NoFap isn't that great, you know, the benefits aren't real, I'm not feeling them anymore. Or you might turn around and say, I'm not feeling as good as I was maybe on day 3 or 4. And then this is when you tell yourself that NoFap is just a myth and the benefits aren't real and it doesn't work, and it's no. Take a step back. What is happening when you experience a flatline is your body and your mind has eventually reached its peak in terms of energy increases, right? One of NoFap's biggest benefits is the increase in energy that you will receive, but eventually you will stop feeling that energetic increase, okay? It'll reach its peak. But when it reaches its peak, that doesn't mean to say that you're all of a sudden back to where you were when you initially relapsed. It just means, once again, that your body and mind has reached a constant. And this is the most challenging period of NoFap because a lot of guys are going to want to relapse at this point. A lot of guys are going to turn around and say, well, I feel okay, I feel normal, so what now? What next? Oh, it's okay, let me relapse. Just take a step back for a moment, right? You're at a constant now, and you need to stay at that constant in order to progress. So if you're on day 7 or around about day 8, day 9, day 10, you might be in this flatline period, okay? Please don't relapse. Please stay on this journey of NoFap. And the reason I'm sharing this video today is because I was sat downstairs in my living room having some food, and I was thinking to myself, oh, where have the benefits gone? Okay, I'm not feeling as good as I was a couple of days ago. Why? And then I realized straight away, it clicked. This is the flatline period. This is the point where now I am used to the energy that is in my body. And it's now up to me as a man, as an individual, to make sure that I don't relapse. Because what's going to happen now is I'm going to be able to maintain and be consistent. And so if you've been watching my 30 days of NoFap, thank you, because in the past couple of videos, I explained to you that I had a burst of energy. I was being really productive. I felt good. Well, I did the same thing today. I felt good. I was productive. I had energy. But once again, the energy isn't as felt, or I'm not feeling it as much as I was in the past couple of days. That isn't to say that the energy isn't there or the energy is gone. It's just to say that I don't notice it because I'm used to it. So once again, it's important to stay consistent. It's important not to go back to relapsing to PMO, right? So look, this is the challenge on NoFap. The flatline period is probably the most difficult period of your NoFap journey because this is when your mind is battling with itself, right? Because you always want to be feeling things. This is how we are as human beings. We constantly want to feel things. We need things. We constantly crave things, right? This is why there's such an epidemic of addiction to pornography and masturbation, addiction to unhealthy foods, really unhealthy people out there. Look, the things that feel good, 9 times out of 10 are detrimental to us as people in terms of health, physical and mental, right? So if you are on this NoFap period or on this NoFap journey where you experience a flatline, or you might say to yourself, well, the effects of NoFap aren't really changing my life. Okay, NoFap isn't what I expected, or the benefits are gone. Look, that's just your mind playing games. What is happening is you have elevated yourself to a point where, boom, you are on a constant. Okay, your body is now using the energy that you are retaining, your seed, your semen, to function properly. And all that is happening is your mind and your body have found a balance, right? Instead of going from a real low when you initially relapse and then steadily increasing or steadily going up in terms of energy, you've reached the top of the mountain, boy. You've reached the peak, okay? And so try your best to remain at that constant, because this is where the real benefits of NoFap come in, the consistency. If you ever watch videos about motivation, success, how to be a good individual, how to be disciplined, you'll hear a lot of people talking about exactly what I've just mentioned, and that is consistency. This is the challenge of NoFap, okay? You either want it or you don't want it. You either want to break free from the addiction to PMO or you don't want it. It's as simple as that, okay? You're either man enough to say to yourself that, look, I've got a problem and it needs dealing with, or you simply fall back to the addiction of PMO. Okay, this is where you have to be strong. This flatline period on NoFap is the real test of men. Do you want to break free from that addiction to PMO? And if you do, you will breeze through this flatline period. Okay, you will say to yourself, right, okay, I've stopped feeling the benefits that I was feeling on maybe day 3, 4, and 5, and now it's time to stay consistent. Now it's time to stay on that top of the mountain range. Okay, it's time to stay at the top of that peak. And even if you aren't feeling the same as you were in the past couple of days, believe me, if you remain consistent, you will see the results of NoFap manifest themselves in your life. Divine Masculine Tantra, I hope to see you on the next video.